I would say that when you are in the classroom and you are seeing social interactions in classroom management, you can see things that may need to be looked at a little deeper.
So describe that for me with Tanner. What was his classroom behavior like? His social interactions specifically.
So Tanner struggled socially, partially, I'm sure, from moving. Coming in the middle of the year is hard to do. And so struggling with social social norms, I would say.
Do you remember having friends?
I do not, but I don't think he was with us. I feel like, I know it wasn't the beginning of the year. I know it wasn't the end of the year. So I don't remember exactly the time frame. I just remember that it was kind of a chunk in the middle of the year.
Can you recall like how other children were treating him at that time or not?
They thought he was they thought he was odd. He didn't. When you're in 5th grade, you're starting to recognize like that maybe you shouldn't announce to the class that you have to go to the bathroom, you know, that kind of stuff. So maybe a little standoffish, but we also, there were a lot of things that I did to try to build community.
Okay, tell me some things about that, about the structure of your classroom.
We did class meetings every morning, and which composed of a greeting, where we worked on making eye contact and greeting each other, and then we would do a one-word check-in so that people would know, hey, and people could expand if they wanted to on how they were doing that day, so that the class would know if someone's struggling a little bit to maybe give some space, and we would usually play some sort of little game in that little morning meeting.
And did you think that structure that you had going, the routines you had going, were those helpful for Tanner?
I couldn't say. I think that they were helpful. Morning meetings were something that I did for years, and I think they were helpful to my class.
And you mentioned like one of the social norms he was violating was kind of blurting things out. Was that common?
Yes.
What about, did you have art and music in your class?
Yes.
Did Tanner react to either of those well?
I can't remember specifically Tanner, but the children, we would listen to Disney soundtracks for group work, and then classical music for independent work. And that was just something that I would play lowly in the background so that it wasn't so distracting, like if you heard pencils dropping and things like that.
Do you remember what your relationship with Tanner was like?
I enjoyed being Tanner's teacher.
You think he enjoyed you teaching him?
I thought so, yeah.
Did you ever see Tanner get upset?
Actually, I don't recall, no. Nothing that sticks out.
So for you, you were able to keep him calm and motivated?
I think so. I do remember when he left that the school he went to called us pretty quickly to ask what were some things that we were doing to help with classroom management. So I enjoyed I enjoyed being a teacher.
It sounds like you put a lot into it. Were you able to try to talk to the other teachers and try to tell them about your relationship with Tanner and what had worked well for you?
Mm-hmm. I called them.
Do you think Tanner knew that you loved him?
I hope all of my kids know that I love them.
talked about Tanner blurting out that he had to go to the bathroom, briefly. How'd the other kids take that? That held a little uproar?
That was, I would take the class to the bathroom. I would only send them in a few at a time. You don't send a whole class into the bathroom together. The rest of us would sit in the hallway and play a game while we waited for our rotations. The time I remember, we were coming back from the library and everybody had their books. And when it was Tanner's turn to go in the bathroom, he brought me his books and said, "Can you take these back for me? Because I'm going to be in there for a while." And which made me laugh. And the kids kind of giggled about it too. So.
Was there a story about the Mad Libs?
Yes, Mad Libs was something that we would do in our morning meeting. It's a good way to learn parts of speech. And Tanner I remember him really loving to do Mad Libs. And we were having a class party. I'm assuming Valentine's, because you only get 3 parties. He really wanted the class to do Mad Libs. And I said, "No, the class doesn't want to do that. We're going to do this." But I said, "But you can take the Mad Libs book and you can do it if you'd like to." And then
Could you spell that?
Mad Libs,
Uh-huh.
like the old from the 60s, like the MADLIBS.
Okay.
Mad Libs.
I said that for, okay, go ahead.
Okay. I told him that he could do the Mad Libs by himself if he'd like to, and he did, and he was very much laughing and enjoying himself, but really I could tell he was trying to sell it to get everybody, because doing a Mad Libs by yourself, you know what your adjectives are and your nouns are. It kind of, it's not as funny as when you're doing it with someone who has no idea what the story is.
I remember Mad Libs.
Mm-hmm.
What about the story about shampoo?
There was a day where Tanner came and he had his snow hat on, and he came to school and he sat down and he took his hat off, and I looked at his hair and it had some dried bubbles in it, and I said, "Tanner, honey, do you still have shampoo in your hair?" And he immediately felt it and said, "Oh my gosh, I forgot to wash it out." And so I sent him to the nurse so that she could help him get his hair washed out.
Did you take care of it?
Mm-hmm.
Your Honor, may I first?
Yes.
Your Honor, this is Defendant's Exhibit 70. Kristen, are you able to identify that for me?
That is our class picture.
And can you identify Tanner in the photo?
Yes.
Which one is he?
He is on the second to the back row, and he is second from the left.
Thank you. All right, move to admit Defendant's Exhibit 70 and publish it.
Any objection?
No objection, Your Honor.
Defense Exhibit 70 is admitted, and you wish to publish to
Yes.
appoint the 2 jurors?
Yes, please. Second row. Yeah, what's the version that you had?
Okay. You pass the witness.
Yes.
Cross-examination.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ma'am, I just have a couple of questions for you. My name is James Stainton, and I'm the district attorney for Washington Jack County. And I get the idea, ma'am, that you love all of your students, don't you? You're one of those teachers, right, that loves all your students. And is that, yes?
Yes.
Yes, okay. I get, even though, you know, you said that you only saw Tanner for, it would seem like a few months in the middle of the year, is that right?
Yes.
But you put the same effort into him as you do to all of your students, don't you?
Yes.
Of course you do. And you said a little bit, and just to be sure here, it's not unusual for kids that kind of move in the middle of the year to have problems adjusting and socializing, is it?
No, that's not unusual.
Not unusual. But it seemed like that whatever you did for your students, including Tanner, like the morning meetings, you did that for their benefit to help them socialize. Right?
Yes.
And you don't have anything to say, even during that short period, that you knew the defendant, Tanner Horner, that he had any problems with that?
I'm
Having
sorry.
the morning meetings and doing the things that you needed him to do.
Yes, he enjoyed the morning meetings. Yes.
That's what I was asking.
Okay.
He was able to participate with the other students
Yes.
and communicate whatever you had asked as far as giving their one word.
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming that's good, bad, or
Mm-hmm.
happy or unhappy. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
And he was able to do that.
Yes.
That's what it's.
Redirect.
Nothing further, I think.
May this witness be excused?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Hang on just a minute. Okay. You'll follow deputy. Who do you have next? Yes.